I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe at My Life Story 702. Also, take advantage of all the shopping, man, we have. Will be tagged. Yes, sir.
Conspiracy
Let's
theories
get it.
anymore. I can't. I used to be very dismissive of conspiracy theories.
No,
but
I agree.
unfortunately, when it
I
comes
said
to this,
this.
we have seen the lies and the cover-up.
Do you know what? I said the other day I would literally now be prepared to believe any conspiracy theory relating to the Epstein scandal because so much of it is actually coming true. That who the hell knows, right? I mean, I just think the idea.
Although you're quick to defend your pal Donald Trump, who was close to him.
No, I'm only quick to defend him about one part of this, which is there's a lot of stuff in those files that is clearly fantastical, malicious, and was investigated and
but there's a lot of stuff redacted,
because,
Piers.
No, I agree, but there's no.
How do we know?
There's been
How
no
do we know
evidence.
the full extent of this?
Well, it's a perfectly valid point.
Agreed. But there hasn't been a full investigation. But there hasn't been a full investigation.
I agree with
you would
that.
agree with that, Piers.
And I'm with you.
Kash Patel and Pam
Mehdi,
Bondi shutting it down. Why is a director of the
Mehdi,
FBI?
I've said a few times recently, this is the biggest political and royal scandal of my lifetime, and seems to be getting worse, not better, as it goes on. It reminds me a bit of Watergate with bells on. Watergate began as a very slow burner, took a couple of years to really explode. And you're seeing the same thing with the Epstein files. And you're seeing a lot of people hoisted by their own petard, by their own lies, with all the documentary evidence coming out showing how they lied. Have you ever seen anything quite like this? And what do you feel about Attorney General Pam Bondi saying, that's it, you've had all the files, even though we know there are many redactions in the ones that have been put out, some of them totally baffling. And we also know there apparently are 3 million more files that they have no intention of releasing.
Yeah, it's without a shadow of a doubt the biggest political scandal of my lifetime. I'm 46 years old. You mentioned Watergate. I mean, Watergate in the US, the Profumo affair in the UK, these look like walk in the parks compared to what we're seeing recently. And the number of powerful people globally have been caught up in this. A United Nations panel of experts this week, Piers, said this could amount to a crime against humanity. Just what we've learned from the redacted files. They talk about it being a global criminal enterprise that is systemically engaged in the trafficking of young girls and women. And yet you have Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, going in front of Congress last year, Piers, and saying there's no evidence Epstein trafficked anyone. Right? That's what he said under oath in front of the Senate. You have Pam Bondi, as you say, saying that's it, no more. Her deputy saying nothing else to be seen. We know that Donald Trump's name, thanks to Jamie Raskin, congressman who went and looked in the files unredacted, he says he saw 1 million references in his searches to Donald Trump. According to the New York Times, in the redacted files, we have 38,000 references to Donald Trump, his wife, Mar-a-Lago. So that's 96% of the mentions of Trump are missing from what you and I can see. That's a huge scandal. Richard Nixon was, organizing a burglary at the Democratic National Committee headquarters. Donald Trump is accused in these files. I want to be clear, he's a very litigious man. There's no evidence of criminality on Donald Trump's part, but there are accusations from people the FBI interviewed in the files claiming all sorts of things about Donald Trump having allegedly done sex acts with children, assaulted children, threatened children. We have no idea if they're true or not. I have no evidence to say they're true. But shouldn't they?
Well, we do. No, well, hang
investigated?
on. This is where you have to be careful. Well, hang on. This is where you have to be careful because we do. Because in the more extreme cases like that, they've been investigated and they've been ruled out as fantasy stuff or people trying to be malicious or whatever it may be.
Not all of them, Piers.
Actually, everything in relation to
yes,
criminality.
I agree with you.
Well, no. Everything in relation to Trump that involved alleged criminality has been ruled out. And the reason I'm comfortable in saying that is I interviewed David Boies yesterday, who was Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, one of the top criminal lawyers in modern American history. He's looked at everything and he says there's nothing criminal against Trump. And I do think it's important to say that. I don't think his motivation, Trump, in trying to shut this down is about himself. I think it's actually about a lot of people he knows.
Well, I agree with that. And he told Marjorie Taylor Greene, according to MTG, that you're going to hurt my friends, which in itself is a massive scandal. And I think you would agree if he is covering up for rich and powerful friends. We know how many Trump people are in the files in very awkward positions, lying about their relationships from Elon Musk to Howard Lutnick, Mehmet Oz, multiple. That's why Thomas Massie is now calling this the Epstein administration. But just on Trump, I just want to mention a couple of things. I just brought this along just to remind myself. Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than has previously been reported or that we were aware. That's an email from one of his own DOJ lawyers in 2020. Trump lied, Piers, when he said he never went on the plane. He went on the plane 8 times. We know, for example, that Epstein wrote in 2011, Donald Trump spent hours at my house with a victim. He referred to Trump being at his house as the dog that hasn't barked. He said in 2019, Trump knew about the girls. Now, he could be lying, Epstein. He's a horrible convicted sex offender. But the point is, we've not had full investigations. The media has barely touched this, Piers. There's been a lot of coverage of Prince Andrew and Thiel and Elon Musk and Reid Hoffman and all sorts of people, Katie Couric. There hasn't actually been that much coverage of Donald Trump's own relationship with Epstein as much as there should have been. If this was any other president or politician, this would be a huge scandal. And I agree with you on the kind of, we haven't got evidence of criminality, but I just want to show, this is in the Epstein files, right? This is page 21. This is a 21-page FBI a PowerPoint presentation. This is the page they have from last summer called Prominent Names. Donald Trump's at the top with 2 allegations in there. Now, I'm not saying those are proven allegations, but the idea that we as a media, that the American public's not even familiar with those allegations, I think we need to be talking much more about what a huge scandal this is and how many lies have been told by the people in power, not just Donald Trump. And I know Bill Clinton is going to have his day to talk about what were his relationships with Epstein as well. Piers, I'll say this, one last point. I no longer can just laugh at people who come up with conspiracy theories anymore. I can't. I used to be very dismissive of conspiracy theories.
No,
but
I agree.
When it comes
I said
to this,
this.
we have seen the lies and the cover-up.
Do you know what? I said the other day I would literally now be prepared to believe any conspiracy theory relating to the Epstein scandal, because so much of it is actually coming true that who the hell knows, right? I mean, I just think the idea...
Although you're quick to defend your pal Donald Trump, who was close to him.
No, I'm only quick to defend him about one part of this, which is there's a lot of stuff in those files that is clearly fantastical, malicious, and was investigated and
but there's a lot of stuff redacted, Piers.
No, I agree, but there's no...
How do we know?
There's been
How
no
do we know
evidence.
The full extent of this?
Well, it's a perfectly valid point.
Agreed. But there hasn't been a full investigation. But there hasn't been a full investigation.
I agree with
you would agree with that, Piers.
And I'm with you.
Kash Patel and Pam
Mehdi,
Bondi shutting it down. Why is a director of the
Mehdi,
FBI and the Attorney General shutting it down?
Mehdi, you're preaching to the choir. I've been saying the same thing. There should
I love it when we agree.
Be full transparency.
I love it when we agree, Piers.
I always feel a bit disconcerted when we agree. Let's talk about something else. It's interesting because let's assume a scenario here which plays out. I said on my show on Monday, we were talking about the polling for Trump and the midterms coming up pretty soon now, right? We're nearly in March. You've got midterms in November. It is highly likely, the way things are looking, that the Republicans will get a big beating in the midterms unless something extraordinary happens, which it might. But if they do and they lose control of the House, then any president in that position pretty much becomes a lame duck president. And if that happens, it's a free-for-all for what happens next, both amongst his own party and, of course, the Democrats. The Democrats don't really have yet, to me, anyone clearly coming through in the way that Bill Clinton did or Barack Obama did, which is a massive problem for the party. One of their leading lights is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I watched this clip of her. She went down to the Munich conference, I think to sort of show her global aspirations and how smart she was and so on, and ended up getting pretty well ridiculed for a few things. But one of which was her explanation when she was asked by a friend of mine, actually, would and should the US commit troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move? And she said this.
Would and should the US actually commit US troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a... I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States, and I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation, and for that question to even arise.
Now, if Donald Trump had come out with that, you'd have gone, what the fuck is he talking about? That is a load of gibberish word salad nonsense. So in the cause of intellectual honesty, Mehdi Hasan, would you say that what we just heard was a load of gibberish word salad nonsense?
No, I think what we heard was not her finest hour in terms of articulating an answer on a very complicated subject. I was awkward watching that. It's obviously not great to and ah for 20 seconds. I wrote a book about public speaking. That I've addressed these issues and people who do public speaking. It wasn't a great moment for her, but the idea that summed up her presence at Munich is actually what I would question the premise of your entire discussion. You just played a clip from an account. I noticed where you played it from. It's a well-known right-wing bagger Twitter account. The right are very good, Piers, aided and abetted sometimes by your good self, in pushing narratives about Democratic politicians to brand them.
Why does it matter where it came from?
They did it to... It does, because, for example, she gave fantastic answers on inequality, on Gaza, on authoritarianism. She spoke to a packed crowd in Berlin the next day. She met with the SPD. She met with the far left. No one mentions any of that. Instead, everyone in the US media is talking about this because the right wants you to talk about this. That's my first point, that this is a very manufactured narrative. And number two, it's not at all equivalent to Trump, Piers. Trump could never say even half of what she said about Taiwan. Her answer, actually, at the end, which is we shouldn't get to that point, is actually the right answer. When Trump, I checked, because I knew you were going to ask me about this. I checked before I came on air. Trump was asked about Taiwan a few months ago, and he couldn't answer the question. He said, said it's a secret. I can't tell you what my position is. Well, that's much better. In fact, this week, Piers, forget rhetoric. Do you know what Trump said about Taiwan? He told reporters on Monday that he's checking with the Chinese president before he sells arms to Taiwan. That goes against a 42-year long-standing US policy on Taiwan that Ronald Reagan set up. Not me, Ronald Reagan set up. So you can go on about AOC's 20-second umming and ahhing, which wasn't great for AOC, I admit. Or we could talk about the fact that Donald Trump has a very bad policy on Taiwan that goes against US traditional national security policy. And we could talk about the fact that Donald Trump's sentences make AOC look like the most eloquent woman in history. What are you talking about? Have you heard Donald Trump rant about shark attacks, about the size of Arnold Palmer's penis, about toilet flushing? AOC's never said anything like that. Donald Trump, hold on, I haven't finished. Donald Trump went to Davos, Piers. Did you play the clip? Did you play the clip, in the interest of fairness and intellectual honesty, to quote you, did you play the clip of Donald Trump in Davos calling Greenland Iceland again and again and again? He went to Davos and embarrassed himself, calling it Iceland. And by the way, worse than calling it Iceland, he wants to invade Greenland. No Democrat has ever suggested anything as mad as going to war with Denmark as Donald Trump. So please don't come here and talk about gibberish and intellectual honesty. Your pal is the most deranged person to ever get close to any top office anywhere in the West.
Do you know what? I haven't heard such a strident piece of apologia since Comical Ali in the Iraq War, when he was trying to explain why the Americans...
Everything I said was true, and you can't dispute a word of it. Did you play Donald Trump's clip at Davos? Did you play on this show?
The Americans are not...
On this show...
Let me answer.
Did you play a clip of your pal Donald Trump saying Greenland is Iceland? Yes or no?
Mehdi, yes, multiple times. And more than that, I interviewed the Prime Minister. Wait a minute. Yes, and more than that, I interviewed the Prime Minister of Greenland as well. Did you?
So what's that got to do with anything?
What's the matter with you?
You have run cover for Donald Trump. Piers, do you agree? Do you agree that Donald Trump is mad, nuts, deranged, and mentally unfit for office? Do you agree with that?
Why do you do this? Why don't you just?
Do you agree he's mad?
Why don't you just say, Mehdi?
I mean, it's a simple question, Piers. People are watching. Do you agree that Donald Trump is mad, deranged,
it's not your show,
and unfit for office? Because those are your words, Piers. Those are your words.
When I come on your show,
your words.
When I come on your show,
you call Donald Trump deranged, mad,
time out,
and nuts.
I know, and occasionally I think he is those things. And as you know, I've said it when I think he is. And when I think he deserves praise, I give him praise. My point is, though, that you're
overall you
blinkered about AOC. No, I think sometimes he's perfectly normal and lucid. Sometimes he does nutty things.
Most of the time. Come on, Piers. This is a man who rants about shark attacks, who talked about Arnold Palmer's penis at a rally, who did an impression of someone doing oral sex on a microphone at a rally. There's been no president like this. I hate George W. Bush, but I would put George Bush 100 times above Donald Trump in terms of intellectual and mental fitness for office. You cannot question any Democrat's intellectual fitness for office when you have supported this man, the most deranged man, your words, deranged, mad, nuts man, in office.
Just to be clear,
this is a man who couldn't find Taiwan on a map if his life depended on it.
Mehdi, here's the problem. I'm afraid, listen, you know I like you, I respect you very much. You've built an amazing business with Zeteo. Congratulations. But one of the reasons Donald Trump got re-elected is that you guys have got literally Trump derangement syndrome. It plays into his hands. I prefer to be more even-handed with him. I prefer to praise him when he deserves it, and I prefer to whack him when he doesn't. When you're so blindly enraged by everything, including silly jokes he says, you're so deranged about him. Actually, in the end, you managed to achieve the unthinkable. You managed to help get Trump re-elected.
Hold on.
He got re-elected with a bigger majority.
Do I get to speak? So, hold on. Let's just deal with a couple of things. The reason he got re-elected, I would argue, is the media gave him a pass. People like you, I came on your show on the eve of his election, and you were telling me all sorts of things. Oh, don't call him a Nazi, don't call him a fascist. Meanwhile, we have masked thugs.
He's not a Nazi.
American citizens off the street.
He's not a Nazi.
In cold blood.
He's not a Nazi.
I was right about his fascism. You were wrong about his fascism. I was right that he would try and stay in office in 2021. You were wrong about that. His people are shooting Americans.
He didn't stay in office in 2021.
Everything that I said would happen in a second term.
He didn't stay in office.
Piers, and you said he was
He's not a Nazi, and he's not a fascist.
Oh, my God. Piers, you, in January 2021, accused him of trying to stay in office. You said he sent an armed mob to the Capitol. You said he should be removed from office and never be president again. You changed your tune once he got back to the presidency. I get that. That's fine.
No.
I've been right about everything I've said about Trump. And as for being Trump derangement syndrome, it's the very opposite. Even I didn't think he'd be trying to start a war with Denmark. Even I didn't think he'd be shooting Americans in the street 14 months into his presidency. Even I didn't think he'd be this corrupt on this level so openly. So, in fact, he's been much worse than those of us who allegedly have TDSs. You have TDS, Piers. You have Trump denial syndrome. When I say to you, is Trump racist? You say, no, he's not racist. Even though he calls Somalis low IQ, Piers. Do you agree that Somali people are low IQ? Is that not the most racist thing?
Just to explain, Mehdi, just to explain.
You're dodging me.
This is not your show.
Do you think Somalis are low IQ, Piers?
This is not your show, Mehdi.
Do you think Somalis are low IQ?
You don't get to interview me for half an hour. It's not your show.
People are worried about your silence.
When I come on your show, when I haven't been silent about any of these things. You should watch my show more.
Trump calls Somalis low IQ. Is that not a Nazi thing to say?
got a little something up in this mud. You feel me? Much love to everybody that's been supporting the channel, man. I appreciate all the love. Like I said, man, this year I'm about to be dropping crazy. I'm about to be going ham, so I got a lot coming right now. So stay tuned in, man. Like I said, I'm about to just be doing a lot, man. I'm going hard, you know. Fuck all you bitches, bro. All you bitches that's capping, man. I don't got time for it, you know. Like I said, man, I'm looking for a real one that's nigga that's trying to have something in life. That's what I'm on, for real, to keep it a beam, you know. Most of these females think, nigga, all the nigga want to do is just hit and worry about fucking on somebody. But really, man, nigga worry about trying to get these goals accomplished. Nigga, I'm trying to at least, nigga, say I at least have 50 million, nah, not 50 million, shit, I wish that too, but shit, 50 grand in this account, and working on trying to get a house, you feel me? Like, that's what a nigga on, that's what a nigga goals is, man. I'm gonna keep it real, man. By the end of this year, man, I'm trying to at least say I got 20,000 in the bank, like, just sitting, that I got it, you feel me? Like, I ain't going up and down, I ain't, you know, for sure I got that in my bank, you feel me? I got my car, you know, like I said, this my project car, so in like probably like 2 weeks, I'm about to put me an exhaust and a turbo in here. So like I say, I'm working on that, and I'm about to get a new paint job, all type of shit. My rims done, so yeah, I'm on some shit right now. And like I say, I want y'all to be involved. I want y'all to see the process, see the, you know, like I say, started from the bottom. Literally started from the bottom, working my ass off. From walking to a fucking electric scooter, to a moped, now to a whip. Like, really, from working at KFC, McDonald's, Goodwill, all type of little gigs, you feel me? And just focus, not giving up. And every time, one thing about me, the reason why I didn't give up, every job I had, I always said I want to make more than that job. So if I made 13, I said I got to make no more than 13 above. And every job I had, from $10 to 13 to 13 to 16, from 16 to 20, from 20 to 28, like, it's a wrap, you feel me? I realized that if I put my mind to it and say don't settle for less, I can get it for sure. It might take a little time, a couple weeks or a month, who knows? But if you put your mind into it, don't give up, and put the footwork, and always believe in the man above, and stay positive. Don't do nothing stupid, stealing, and putting that bad energy out there, and putting it on your good supposed to come to you. God gonna make sure you get whatever you ask for, because you putting the work and good vibes. You staying positive, you staying focused, you grinding, and you believe. That's the main thing, and he gonna always make sure you good. That's what I learned from myself. No matter what, like I say, everybody else different, but for Jeremiah Rankin, for sure, that's what I noticed for myself. And ever since that I've known that, everything I've been doing, it's just been going up. I haven't been going down, and I haven't been broke. You feel me? Like I said, there was a time when I was out there in the streets trying to hustle, and I was trying to, like, do it for everybody else, like make everybody else be, you know, put a smile on everybody else's face, or, you know, see if I can make everybody else happy. I'll run out of money and then, you know, be broke for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and it's like, damn, like, shit, I didn't blew all this money to try to make others happy, or just to, be it a lot, the attention of the party, and it just ain't get me nowhere. Ever since I changed my mindset and just started doing better, got away from the streets, man, I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't sold a sack or illegal drugs in probably years. I haven't smoked weed in years. I haven't drinked in years. So, man, it's been amazing. Like, for me to actually say that, for me, like, to say that, it's like I'm grateful every day. So, man, like I say, man, just never give up. Don't give up. Giving up is not in the book. God is good every time, for real. God is good every time, for real. Giving up is not in the book, for sure. And I realized that, man, this nigga riding my ass, bro. I'm gonna be cool, because I learned, gotta be the bigger person, man. Gotta be the bigger person. I wanna up that thing on him. But yeah, man, can't give up. Can't give up. Look at this shit. He all on the street. Like, what the fuck? Pushing it out the way. Like, yeah. D-ball. But, yeah, once I learned that, you gotta stay positive, gotta stay, grounded, gotta stay hungry, gotta stay motivated, gotta stay consistent, and always believe in the one above. You're gonna be good, man. You're gonna always be good. God gonna always take care of you. God gonna always take care of you, make sure you straight, man. So just always remember that, y'all. Like I say, I'm not in the best position right now. I'm not saying I'm doing the best in the world, but shit, I'm doing better than what I was back then, for sure. Way better than how I used to roll around. And not only just that, like, my mental way better. I grew so much as a young man, you feel me? I'm 34. So I still have a lot, man. Someone's told me, man, it's never over till the fat lady sing, you feel me? We all know that, but I really thought it was over. I thought it was like, dang, like, I'm 29 years old, I'm getting older and older, like, I supposed to have been started, doing better in life, but like I say, I didn't have nobody to teach me, or I didn't have no father figures, or I didn't have no big homies to, like, put me up on game. And like I say, everything I learned was on my own. Me and my brother, everything we learned was on our own, you feel me? Every lesson, it's not, I never regret. Everything was a lesson. So having all the money, knowing that where my mind at now, I would have put that into something. I would have put that into some stocks. I would have, started up a business or something. But my mindset wasn't on that back in the day. I was young-minded, and like I said, I didn't have nobody to show me nothing different. You feel me? Like I said, I come from welfare. My mama, housings and all that shit. So I had to learn on my own. But it's never too late. That's one thing I learned. It's never too late. And don't give up. And don't let nobody tell you it is. You feel me? And always remember, you gonna have haters. You gonna have people that's not gonna like you. You gonna have people that's gonna, fake the funk or talk about you behind your back, or and having you, it's people that you probably haven't even spoke to in years or a minute. They're gonna try to say something. They're gonna try to, bring you down. But just know, if you're doing right, that energy, that bad energy they putting out, God gonna feed it to you with good energy and keeping it going. to make sure you stand focused and make sure you keep shitting and shining on the motherfuckers that's hating. You feel me? And always remember, give back to your community. Always give back, no matter what. I always try to give back, no matter what. No matter what I do, what I'm going through, or how good the situation is, I always try to give back to the homeless or somebody, donate anything if I could, because, you know, you got to be grateful, man. We got to help our people as well, you know. Everybody's selfish. Motherfuckers want to be selfish too. We just had a crazy time right now. So much love to everybody. I just want to say, man, I appreciate all the love and support, man. And man, stay tuned in for all this content I got coming for y'all, man. I'm about to flood. I'm about to flood it. You know, I'm trying to get my monitor, my channel up. I'm already monetized and all that, but I'm trying to get it popping. And like I say, if y'all can become a that'd be good, man. I'm looking for my first couple members. I'm gonna try to do a giveaway soon. Like I say, for my first couple members, you know, I got something planned for y'all. Much love, man. Appreciate it.